Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Today, Matthew Hussey talks about confidence. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Where has a lack of confidence held you back in your life? Either over the course of your life or very recently. We're in 2023 now. We are 3 months into the year. We all tend to start one way or another. We start a new year with a sense of anticipation, a sense of what we want to get out of the year. It's frightening how quickly a year goes. Q1 is already over. And we're going into the second quarter of the year with a sense that a quarter of the year has already disappeared. Where do you feel you've held yourself back this year?
Again, Matthew's just speaking in platitudes here, right? He's just talking speaking what the crowd wants to hear. And it's, frankly, I find that disgusting. Anyway, let's continue.
Already. What do you feel is not where it should be? What risks have you not taken? Maybe certain risks you said you would take.
Oh, I took the road less traveled, and that made all the difference.
Back on January 1st, things you said you would do more of, ways you said you'd get out of your shell, out of your comfort zone, and do more, live more, experience more people, talk to more strangers, apply for a position that you didn't apply for before.
Again, Matthew is talking to girls as though they're guys, right? Talk to new people, apply for new positions. It's so obvious whose side he's on and how womanist, driven Matthew is. Because all of this stuff is just straight up out of the womanist rhetoric, right? Implying that this stuff is what makes women more attractive, being more confident, getting out there more, getting that new job, that new promotion. That's not what makes women more attractive. What makes women more attractive is fitness. What makes them more attractive is cooperation, submissive, being pleasant. That's what makes them more attractive. Where is that in Matthew's advice? I've never heard him say you need to be more pleasant once. Ever.
Or try to learn a new skill. Where did you say you were going to level up this year? That if you're honest,
it's about leveling up, right? That's what men do. Men level up. Women just are. Women just need to not eat a lot of McDonald's.
With yourself, you haven't taken action. How has a lack of confidence held you back? I want you to think about your answer in your mind right now. And I also want you to hear that you're in great company, because we had hundreds and hundreds of comments from people who are all in the same boat. So Audrey, share with us some of the answers that we got.
I have a question before I do that.
Okay.
I want to ask you. I want to turn this around onto you.
This is an ambush. I didn't know this was coming.
Neither did I. What for you, what is one of the most impactful ways a lack of confidence has held you back in your life?
This is how, again, I'm going to relate this to talking to girls, right? Very often when a girl doesn't know how to respond to a question, what she does, she turns it back on you, right? She'll answer a question with a question, not actually answering your question at all, right? And that's because it's easier, much easier to deflect than to actually answer. All right, shilling time. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Go to my Patreon and subscribe, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, or Tom M. Shout out to them. Just hit more underneath the text in the description box. That's where you can find all of the links. Shilling is done. Let's continue.
Or you feel maybe is holding you back in life right now?
Maybe we could ask ChatGPT to answer as Matthew, and then we get the real answer.
Stephen, stop giving people ideas about how to use us on ChatGPT. You know what? Here's what first comes to mind. I have had a tendency over the years to grab at lots of different opportunities that come my way. And I know that while I've said no to a lot of things, and I'm proud of what I've said no to, I'm as proud of what I've said no to as what I've said yes to, I still have found myself, and this is not, I can't speak in past tense about this because I'm still working on this, but I've found myself taking on more things than I can handle when they come my way.
This is literally just a job interview, right? Like, what's your greatest weakness? Oh, I'm too dependable. I work too hard to the point where I get exhausted. I'm too diligent and too punctual. And sometimes that makes people uncomfortable. Like this is ridiculous humble bragging garbage, right? What is this? Like, he's just trying to preserve his image at all costs and not actually telling the truth. But there is something we can gain from this, which is from the laws of power, right? Deflect, deflect, deflect. Shun what you can't have.
All of them are good. All of them are exciting. All of them represent real potential and real opportunity. But I think that if I'm honest with myself, deep down, the reason why I'm doing it is not simply because I'm this hyper ambitious person who loves getting as much as possible out of life and wants to do all the things, which is true, but I think
humble brag, humble brag, humble brag.
There's underlying that is this sense of fear about needing to strike while the iron is hot, needing to do this thing now because it may go away, or this may be just a moment and I need to do it all right now while I'm in this moment. It's a kind of almost a bit of a scarcity mindset about.
Yeah, ultimately that's a lot what life is like. We are going to die at the end of it, so you might as well take out of life what you can, right? As opposed to being afraid to take risks, obviously.
Out it that, I've had an abundant mindset in lots of ways in my career, which is, part of the reason why it is what it is. But the thing that makes me say yes too often and then get me overloaded and overwhelmed is fear-based. It's this feeling that it might go away. And, I had a realization recently at a mastermind that we went to in Napa with lots of amazing people. If you look at our Instagram, which is at the Matthew Hussey, if you don't follow me on Instagram, there are pictures from this mastermind, and we had all sorts of amazing people there. We had Lewis Howes and Lisa Bilyeu, Amy Porterfield, Jenna Kutcher, Jay Shetty, Ed Milet, Tom Bilyeu. It was like an amazing group of people. Brendan Bouchard, Dean Graciosi. And there was a comment in the room that was very similar to that. It was, this idea of feeling the need to strike while the iron's hot. And
ultimately, that is an important trait of being a successful man. You must strike while the iron is hot, because it does go away. Nothing is forever, which is why when you have the initiative, you must seize it. So again, this is just humble bragging. There's nothing more to this than that.
And I remember someone in the room saying, the iron is always hot because of who you are. The iron is hot because you're this wonderful, charismatic, great to be around person with great ideas and a huge amount of value to give. So the iron's not going to go cold. Like, you're the iron.
That's false. The second you stop being the value added, the iron goes cold. Once the momentum stops, you stop. So no, it's not true. Men don't have intrinsic value. If you're not providing the value, you are worthless and you will be passed over. That is why. No, it's absolutely true that you cannot stop. Absolutely true.
Iron is hot and it's going to stay hot. And when I heard that, it really resonated with me because I have had that insecurity. And I think that a more confident position to take would be to say, I don't need to rush. There's time. I have a long career ahead of me. Not everything has to happen this year or the next year or even in the next 5 years. And I can actually have the confidence to breathe into my life more.
Yeah, but that happens once you're established, which Matthew is. But if you're a guy at the beginning of his career, right, or you're a guy at the beginning of his business, there is no way you can relax and not do it now. Utterly ridiculous notion. So no, this is like, again, to most people it doesn't apply. I guess it applies to Matthew.
And enjoy the road more. And know that those opportunities will still be on the table when the time frees up for them.
That's not true. Only once you're established. If you're not established, there aren't just opportunities everywhere, right? Like, why does that song exist, 8 Mile? Like, if you had one shot, one opportunity, would you capture it or let it slip? There aren't a million opportunities. You strike while the iron is hot. That's the principle. So no, utterly ridiculous. Like, this is wrong. Of course, once you're on top, then there's a lot of opportunity. But that's only then, not before.
So I think that one of the greatest ways that a lack of confidence has affected me and disguised itself as just pure ambition has been that I've overloaded myself to a degree that has made me suffer an awful lot over the years with incredible amounts of stress, incredible amounts of overwhelm, which at times have affected my health quite.
Actually, the only reason you are successful at the level you're successful at is because you're putting in that level of effort. You would never have been successful if you weren't the type of person that would be willing to sacrifice that much. So this is actually wrong, right? This is like, I climbed to the top of the mountain and now I'm regretting that I lost a toe along the way. It's like, no, the only reason you were able to climb the mountain is because you went at the pace that you were able to lose your toe, like in this amount of time, right? So no, I actually disagree.
Literally have really affected my health, have made me incredibly unhappy, have at times really made me not enjoy the work.
Certainly.
Because there's just too much of it. And if you have too much of something, even if you like it, you just can't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Doubtless.
And
every single thing. Okay. If you're starting a business, guys, I'm going to tell you, no matter what the topic is, you're going to get annoyed at the amount of work. That's just how it is, right? And you need to be able to go, I'm annoyed at this, but that does not supersede my goals. That does not supersede my ambition. I will succeed and I will push through and I will conquer. Unfortunately, those are sacrifices that need to be made. That's how it is.
Have probably made me not a great person to be around for a lot of people who love me very much, but weren't experiencing the best side of me because I was really stressed and didn't have much capacity to be playful or to be loving or to just be in the moment.
It's very interesting the way, and I know that wasn't necessarily said directly to you, but being given permission to sort of have confidence in yourself often has to come from somebody else. It also often has to come from somebody else's authority of saying, like, you are great. You know, you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to strike while the iron is hot. You can.
That's not true. It's only true for women that they can do this, right? And again, it's so ridiculous to have a girl's input on such a conversation because they do not understand how much a man has to struggle to reach a position like Matthew Hussey. Even though I disagree with a lot of his points, right? I respect the ambition and the work ethic and the struggle and the sheer amount of time he's spent building himself into a superior man. That is something that all men can be cognizant of, because it is something to look up to. It is something that can be admired. Yes, the topic that he discusses, from a girl's point of view is nuts, right? It's a lot of the stuff he says is like, but the work ethic to become that man is to be admired.
You can do it. You've got time, and the goal really, I think, is to try and be able to give that to ourselves, right? Rather than having to hear it from someone else.
I agree. I think that we sometimes disconnect from the truth, which is that we are the asset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That
absolutely true. The man is the prize. That is absolutely true. You are the asset. Girl is lucky to have you. And this is especially true. Like, just think about what women are like. Women are hypergamous. They want a man who's superior to them in every single way. When they're in a relationship with you, they're getting more out of it than they're putting in by design. So who's the prize? Who has to hold on to who? Of course, the girl has to try to hold on to the guy. That's how that goes. And if she doesn't put in an effort to hold on to you, she doesn't see you as that superior man. You're just a placeholder. She's looking for that superior man.
No one, when we're worried that we'll never find a great relationship after a breakup, we forget that we're the one who got into that relationship. We're the asset. Someone chose us because we have something that makes us choosable. Indeed. We get scared that we lose a job, and that means we're never going to find another job. But we're the person who got the job. Mm-hmm. And you can look back on the history of your life and say, how many things came to me because I did that? Because there was something desirable about me, because I hustled, because I worked my ass off, because I have a skill set, because I have value to give. And if you connect with that, then you're really connecting with this idea that you are the asset.
That's right. And as a man, your goal from a young age, let's say 14 years old or whatever, 12 years old, your goal is to build yourself into the man of value that you want to be. Because women just are, but men must become. So you need to build that skill set, build those abilities, get stronger, get more powerful, get smarter, get more charismatic, learn more skills, build yourself up into the man that other men want to be and women want to be with. And it's not for women ultimately, it's actually for your long-term benefit, right? Once you've built yourself into that man, then so many opportunities open up that didn't exist previously. And that's the point.
You are the golden goose laying the eggs.
That's right.
So you don't need to freak out about, my golden egg got taken. You're the one laying them. You can lay another one.
That's right.
And that's something I've had to let sink in with myself.
That is the concept of the man being the prize, or abundance mentality. Yes, this relationship ended, but I'm the golden goose. So of course, I can lay another golden egg. Another girl will come. Because I have so much value, it's impossible for a girl not to see it. It's impossible for it not to shine through. That's the truth.
over time is that I didn't, success is there's always an element of luck in there, but I've reliably been able to produce results because of who I am and the effort that I put in.
That's right.
I don't need to freak out that all of a sudden is going to dry up, because as long as I'm still breathing, I can still do more of that.
Yeah, absolutely true. Okay, and then there's an ad here at the end. Yeah, Matthew did a great job here, in my opinion. Okay, let's look at this.
Sometimes in life,
toxic relationship stuff.
A dangerous person comes along, defeated by that and saying, I'm so hopeless. We have to run these little experiments where we say, well, what would happen if I did give this person a little trust? Not all of my trust, but what would happen if I actually became a little vulnerable with this person? What would happen if I reached out, if I was kind first instead of expecting someone to be kind to me because I'm afraid that if I'm kind first, I'll get rejected or this person will take advantage of me? Or what?
Right, this is for girls that have been alpha widowed, right? Again, men being vulnerable, men being kind just because they already do that. This is good advice for women, right? Very, very good advice for women. You give first without expecting to be heard in return. You actually give some value, right? You be the one to actually do something nice first without first being given something nice.
What if I put a little boundary in place? That's a boundary I'm not usually good at putting in place. I said no to someone I always say yes to. It doesn't have to be, I'm not
Chad.
Talking romantically, I'm talking friends, family. I spoke up about something I needed. I voiced something that I was worried if I say that it's going to scare someone away because my...
Yeah, this is also good advice for women, right? A lot of them, they don't know how to get commitment, right? They just sleep with Chad and then they think that Chad at some point will just commit. But a lot of Chads, they don't do that, right? They don't commit because Chad doesn't commit. So, trying to get the relationship up front before they even sleep with Chad, right? Of course, girls don't do this in 2023 because if they did it, they wouldn't get Chad. They'd get a lower value guy in their eyes. Merely top 20% instead of top 5%. But no, they got to have it all, right?
My needs aren't valid. My needs aren't important. That's what I learned in the last relationship, is that nothing that's important to me matters. My needs do not matter. Well, what if you voiced them in some of your relationships in small ways? What if someone asked you to do something for them and you said, I can't do that today. I have way too much on, or I can't do that this week. I'm so sorry. And you just got used to these baby steps, because these things are a really big deal. I'll tell you right now, I grew up struggling to trust people. And
yeah, putting in boundaries is very important, obviously. All right, let's go to the Reddit post here. Posted 4 hours ago on relationship advice. My wife told me my face was a turn-off. The guy's 24, the girl's 23. Last night my wife and I were getting intimate. Everything was going great when all of a sudden she just checked out and was just laying there. So I asked her what was wrong and she replied with nothing. I kept asking her until she finally reluctantly said, I'm sorry, but I can't with light on because your face is really turning me off right now. So you're laying in awkward silence for a minute, which was broken by my wife saying, you can turn the lights off so we can continue. But at this time, I was no longer in the mood. We've been together for 6 years now, married for 3, and I've put on some weight and my face has gotten more full, and I get where she's coming from because I no longer look like the man she fell in love with, but it still hurt. Yeah, so, guys, what they say is in a marriage, you have to be the most attractive you've ever been. You can't become less attractive. But it really does hurt when you married a girl and then she says something like that to you. And of course, you know what it means. She wants a different guy, right? Sadly. Top comment. My goodness, this is such a harsh way for someone you love to speak with you. Indeed. Lord, dude, I'm so sorry. I'd never speak to my husband this way. It's so hurtful. I would have to go for a walk just so they didn't see or hear me crying. I don't think she still loves him. Agreed. Is this post even real? 4 months ago you made a post that you were 25 and she was 21. I think they're both morons. Anyone who wants an open marriage isn't ready to be married. Indeed. I read something yesterday where a girl's boyfriend randomly told her point blank that she looked like a frog, and then tried to backtrack by pulling up celebrities who supposedly resemble frogs. Yeah, you didn't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, your wife is shallow. Well, everyone, yeah, like 2023, try finding a girl who's not shallow. Here's a comment. You're around my age and I'm also married. I feel I can give some good input here. Your wife is a scumbag. Disaster. She wants lights off so she can imagine someone else. If this was my partner, I'd have the divorce papers ready by the morning. My God, what a terribly cruel thing to say to your partner in such a vulnerable moment. OP, looks may change with age and your wife will feel this is all too real in 7 to 10 years as well. But a good character and a humble heart will always stay. A rotten character will never be balanced by good looks. Yeah, these are just platitudes. Truth be told, if you become weaker than the man you were when you were first together, it's over. That's what hypergamy is like. Alright, we're going to end the video there. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit that sub, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, or Tom M. Shout outs to them. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks and go to my Patreon and subscribe, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.